I believe the FIRE movement is one of the dumbest money trends ever, and in this video we're digging deeper into why that's the case. You've heard of FIRE, right? FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. Actually, many of you have not heard of it because millions of people thankfully have not. So let's first talk a little bit about what this movement is. The basic idea of FIRE is that if you learn to live a minimalist lifestyle while saving and investing 60% to 80% of your income, within a decade or so, you'll have created enough wealth to live on the interest and quit working for someone else, giving you the financial independence to do what you want when you want. Now, in order to do this, it requires significant sacrifice. This isn't just cutting your cable and removing unlimited data from your cell phone plan. Living on only 20 to 40% of your income often means living in a place you don't really want to live. It means picking inexpensive hobbies. It means buying necessities from only secondhand shops. It can mean making everything you can instead of buying a finished product from the economy. It means ruthlessly cutting spending on the many things that may give you the enjoyment of life, like Starbucks, your date nights, concerts, or your gym membership. To the extreme, it can mean living off the generosity of others, like living with family and friends even though you make a six-figure salary, or getting food from donation centers meant for those in poverty. Allegedly, this movement started with authors Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez writing the book Your Money or Your Life in 1992. It documents 9 steps to transform your relationship with money and achieve financial independence. The book is essentially about reducing your expenses and learning to be happy with less. But it was really slow to catch on. It wasn't until after the great financial crisis and housing meltdown around 2008 that people began to rethink their relationship with money and the financial institutions they trusted. It was about that time when a very influential financial blogger who goes by the name Mr. Money Mustache took up the mantle and began promoting the FIRE movement. It caught on as many people struggled financially coming out of the crisis and were looking for a better way. Now, on the surface, you would think that as a CFP, I would be all in favor of a movement that encourages financial independence as soon as possible, stresses living within your means, and encourages saving and investing. And you would be right. What do I like about the FIRE movement? Anything we can do to get people to dream and plan for retirement, I'm all for it. And the FIRE discussion does that. Finding ways to manage cash flow better and understand what is coming in and where it goes is a huge step toward financial independence. In order to retire ahead of schedule, saving and investing has to become a priority. This is front and center of the FIRE movement. Negotiating your salary and looking for side hustles to boost income is a great way to grow your wealth. If you want to retire early, being creative and figuring out ways to serve others in exchange for income is extremely important. But that is where the comparisons between FIRE and sensible living end. In my opinion, the FIRE movement could be a big reason for depression, divorce, apathy, and just general unhappiness. I'm disgusted as much in this movement as I am in the people who make $500,000 of income and spend $600,000 living their rich life until they are so far in debt there is no way out. What it takes to retire early can be more than you bargained for and not worth giving up your happiness. When do we go from a society built on common sense to one of extremes? It seemed to happen gradually and then all at once. So let's get into why I think this is the dumbest money trend ever. But first, as with all my videos, I'm required to put up this disclaimer. The information in this video is for educational purposes. This is not specific financial planning, health insurance, or investment advice. In addition, everyone's tax situation is different. You should discuss your tax situation with a qualified tax advisor before implementing any planning strategy. Financial independence, retire early, is the dumbest money trend ever. And here is my opinion why. My first and primary reason has to do with balance. As of the most recent data available, the average life expectancy of an American male at birth is 76 years, and a female is 81. That's the average. Many people will live much longer, and many people will live much shorter lives. The problem here is that no one knows when their time is up. I've seen too many people who are very healthy die early, and I've seen many unhealthy people live very long lives. Even if you do everything right, there is no guarantee tomorrow ever comes. That's why I believe in a balanced approach to spending for today and saving for the future. Enjoying life today while preparing for the unknown. As a CFP, I constantly speak with clients about balance. The FIRE movement completely removes balance from your life and almost forces you to unconsciously move inward towards a scarcity mindset. The second reason I think the FIRE movement is the dumbest money trend ever has to do with the mental anguish many people seem to go through. Humans aren't wired to thrive in extreme environments. Most humans can't excel working outside in frigid temperatures or extreme heat. Similarly, extreme frugality can cause all kinds of mental health issues, especially when you know it isn't necessary. Humans are generally social herding mammals, so we crave social interaction with other like-minded people. Pursuing FIRE can make a generally fulfilling job feel much worse than it actually is because you aren't enjoying any of the fruits of that labor. Also, and what some people don't think about, we can sometimes lose purpose when retiring early. There are many stories of people who, quote, retired early and then went back to work because they were bored. Isolation and loneliness can be two of the biggest mental health issues. So many FIRE enthusiasts seek out other enthusiasts for compassion and support. But it leads to a different comparison game than keeping up with the Joneses. You aren't feeling inadequate because you don't have the biggest house, or the fanciest cars, or most prestigious country club membership. Instead, FIRE enthusiasts often compare themselves to others in the movement. How fast are they saving? How frugal are you getting? Wait, you aren't living in a van down by the river yet?
When you're living in a van down by the river!
You're still in a studio apartment? It can be a competition of who lives the crappiest life possible in the name of extreme saving. The same feeling of envy can exist within FIRE in keeping up with the Joneses. It's just a different family of Joneses. Look, there are a ton of intellectually smart individuals with spreadsheets who love FIRE. But there are a number of formulas and assumptions built into FIRE that may or may not be true. Let's talk more about the assumptions of the FIRE movement. The problem with life and the financial markets is that they're more art than science. You've most likely heard the phrase, past performance is no guarantee of future results. This is born out of the fact that we really have no idea what the future holds, and extrapolating the future in linear equations in a world that is constantly changing can result in huge missteps. Even just being 1% off over a 30-year period can have huge effects on results. One of the first assumptions is the 4% rule. That financial planning rule was born out of a study in 1998 dubbed Safe Withdrawal Rate that says you can withdraw 4% of the value of your nest egg and never run out of money. But it may or may not be true. What is the appropriate withdrawal rate from a portfolio during the retirement years? The answer depends on the mix of stocks and bonds, the risk or the volatility of the portfolio, and the length of the, quote, retirement. When you look at the statistics of the study, the longest withdrawal period is 30 years. Here's the data behind the withdrawal rate. Historically, with a portfolio of 75% stocks and 25% bonds, from 1926 to 1995, if you withdrew 4% a year as a percentage of the initial portfolio, you would never run out of money in all 30-year periods. But there is the issue. Number one, you must be comfortable with 75% of your assets in the stock market. Now, many people can't withstand the 30, 40, 50% declines that routinely occur and will panic when that happens, blowing up their strategy. And it's a lot different mentally when you lose $500,000 portfolio than losing half $100,000 one. Number two, the withdrawal rate is based off the initial value when distributions start. If you increase your withdrawals at the rate of inflation, your success rate did drop to 98% over 30 years. So there were a few 30-year periods where you did run out of money. Number 3, and most important, this is based off a 30-year period. That's because a typical retirement planning period might be from age 60 to 90 or from age 70 to 100. The last thing most retirees want is to run out of money and have to go back to work in their old age as a greeter at Walmart. The F.I.R.E movement advocates for retiring as soon as you hit your number, which is 25 times your expected expenses or a 4% withdrawal rate. Well, if you retire at 35 or 45 and live to 100, the statistics aren't backing up a 55 or 65-year withdrawal period. There are a lot of things that could go wrong and do change over a period that long. That's why a lot of the endowment and pension funds are running into trouble. The assumptions they made about returns and withdrawal rates in the 1980s haven't panned out. Additionally, we really have no idea what inflation and market returns will be over the next 50 years. My worry is that many young Americans, quote, retire early, lose their ability to learn skills, and make money as they age, and then have to seek work again in retirement. And let's not forget the government's involvement in your early retirement plans. Because the government defines traditional retirement as stopping work in your 60s, most retirement plans have penalties and taxes for withdrawals made before age 59 and a half, and they can be substantial. Social Security or pension income isn't generally available until your mid-60s. And if you stop working in your 30s and 40s, you likely will not build up enough earnings years to get a significant benefit. Many F.I.R.E enthusiasts underestimate the effect taxes can have on their early retirement. While the safe withdrawal rate of a retirement portfolio is assumed to be 4%, you actually must live on less than that. You only get the amount after taxes or penalties are taken from the withdrawal. Capital gains taxes for the average American have ranged between 15% and 20% for the past 2 decades, and income tax rates are often higher. You may only live on roughly 80% of that 4%, depending upon your tax rates and withdrawal penalties. That makes a 4% withdrawal actually only 3.2%. Now, F.I.R.E failure could occur for all kinds of reasons. Future market returns aren't what you expect, or expenses to live end up being more than anticipated. Unexpected medical costs can eat up savings. Many people taking up the F.I.R.E movement in their 20s underestimate the cost of raising a family and fail to account for it in their F.I.R.E plan. And longevity health, it's real. Health advances are helping people live longer and longer lives. Leaving the workforce for 10, 20, or 30 years can have other unintended consequences. It can be real hard to qualify for a loan if you need one for a home or car purchase without employment income. If you were to retire early, things didn't work out, and you needed to seek employment after being out of the workforce for 15 years, your worth to an employer has most likely declined. Your skills may have eroded. Employers may think you're unreliable. You are probably paid significantly less when you re-enter the workforce. There are many risks to weigh if you're thinking about pursuing this path. Is the risk of retiring so early and then unexpected curveballs thrown your way worth the extreme sacrifice needed? Only you know the answer to that question. Looking for a better way to manage your finances with balance? Make sure you check out this video next, and you can subscribe to the channel right here to join our community of balance. Cheers.